Yes, Safrik 24 political discussion starts now, where you following this great conversation. And of course, if you're following us here for the first time, remember, we are going to discuss some of the top stories that we heard today. But you know that Kenya has been drawn into the CHAN 2024, and Kenya will be against Zambia, one of the tough teams in the East African football and also Central African football. So who is going to be the winner of this CHAN 2024? That is matters concerning sports. And the sport is one of the key areas that is making this country move ahead. Also, we are keen on today when we witnessed Kalonzo Musyoka press today, and the press was toward the kind of abduction that we have today. And also, Duri today, he went to the DC headquarters, and he is one of the cabinet secretaries of the Kenya Kwanza government. So, and he went to register so that he can get information on why his son was abducted, because you know a lot of abductions are taking place during this time when we have Kenya Kwanza government. Kenyans are raising concerns about why do we have this kind of abductions currently, but of course a lot of issues are also being raised. We saw former DP Rigathi Gachagua when he was saying we should serve the people of Kenya. We should stop lamenting the people of Kenya because we were elected to serve the people of Kenya. Also, we saw other leaders saying that it is high time we focus with the development. It is high time we make sure that we change this country when it comes to issues concerning development, because the Kenyans, whenever they go to any place, then they are questioned. Because today I was following some of the conversations, and I was following through the social media platforms whereby I've seen how Kenyans are being questioned. Because after what happened today, we were witnessing, that is yesterday, we saw the championship, that is African Championship, that is CHAN 2024, that was to be hosted between Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania, being shifted to August. Lamenting country in these two situations is Kenya. They are saying that Kenya was not prepared, even the stadiums, a lot of things CAF considered. That is why Kenya was not allowed to host alongside Tanzania and Uganda. But why do they complain about Kenya? Not only Uganda, because Museveni was, when Museveni was questioned, he said that the country is ready. They have stadiums. You go to Samia Suluhu, he said that she said that they have stadiums. I have my good friend here, Vincent. Vincent, karibu sana. Na tuambie maoni yako. Kwanza umeona Arsenal imecheza na Liverpool. Hiyo game umeionaje?
Sija watch bwana. Imeenda aje?
Arsenal imeshinda Liverpool, Tottenham.
What was the score?
2-1.
2-1. Oh, good. Congratulations to Arsenal fans. My team is
Na
a
pia
little struggling right
uliona
now.
Chelsea imeleta Trevor Chalobah.
My team is struggling right now, and it's stressing me out a little. But we will come back strong. I know that. I trust my team, and I trust the potential we have in our squad. We will come back strong.
Okay.
Anyway, how are you, Bonnie?
Niko fiti. Sasa hapa tunachambua siasa kidogo.
Yeah, it's been a minute. Kwanza wewe hatujaputana, tuliongea na mzalendo hapa sana, wewe ulikuwa ulipotea.
Mimi unajua pia mimi politics sometimes wewe inanikalianga, lakini mkipatana na mzalendo wewe, hey.
Yeah, you are a sports person. We actually got to around 6 a.m. in the morning ile siku.
Niliona hiyo show ilienda 6 hours.
Yeah, some ladies joined us and we had a very serious debate. And when I'm around, we have a lot of things to talk about. And
Yeah, 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 yeah.
today you've really highlighted things here, and maybe I should comment about the stadiums issue that you raised before we can start our formal debate.
Yeah,
Um, I have a lot of things to really say about the stadiums. Number one is that we are blaming the government on stadiums, which is okay, and I feel like they should be blamed because this is a thing that should have been done a long time ago. And I wonder why it's taken Kenya a very long time to realize that we need quality playgrounds and quality stadiums so that we can we can prepare for also our championship games or our local football can be uplifted. Because if you look at, for example, the football that is happening in Kisii, for example, because Kisii is becoming a center stage for football in Kenya, and it's even overtaking what Gor Mahia and the FC Leopards have done over the years. My community has really come out to support football, and I feel like if these Chan games were to be taken closer to my people, you could have seen overwhelming support because we are lovers of football. We are very, very good lovers of football, and we even filled stadiums full when there were high school games in Kisii. And I tell you, our people love football and they support football. I feel like the government is also misplacing these stadiums. If they were to build such kind of stadiums like Talanta Stadium in places like Nyanza, where football is like, if you look at the squad, for example, majority of the players that play for Harambee Stars and that have been so good in football over the years come from Nyanza, especially the Luo Nyanza region. And I think if they were to look for a place where they want to put a stadium that will draw fans, because Nairobi is a city where people are supposed to be working. They are not supposed to be skipping work to go watch football. But of course, there are so many people that are not working. But I feel like in places like Nyanza and Kisii, for example, those are places that we find so many people. If you see, for example, for every collection that they make after every game that Shabana plays in the stadium, it's close to a million point something every game. Even Gor Mahia does not collect that amount of money every week. So I think this issue of stadiums should be put to rest once and for all. And I like what the president has done. For as much as Nyayo has not been ready yet, and it needs to be facelifted again for AFCON 2027. So they made this uplifting for upgrading of the stadium to standards for this upcoming event because it was so close and we weren't prepared for it. And what Kasarani is doing now is going to be, I think, the final upgrade of Kasarani, I think, for over the years. And the president has really done good. And if maybe by 2027, Bukungu Stadium is done, and maybe one more stadium in Nakuru that I saw is coming up so fast, Afraha,
Afra Stadium.
and maybe, yeah, and Talanta Stadium. If we have those three and we maybe get one big stadium in Nyanza and then one in the coast, I think those are good to go because those are the regions that football is like uh, their cornerstone. So I think this issue of stadiums, we might blame the government, but in Kenya we have prioritized other sports, especially the Olympics and the athletics, other stuff. So I think if it's time we start also thinking about how we enroll football because I saw for those who are teachers, CBC is coming up with a lot of courses that will teach our children to be coaches and football officials in the future. And I think if we can't prepare ourselves for that, we're going to have so many jobless people through even this system of CBC. So Bonnie, I feel like as a very big football commentator, you are the people who are going to enjoy most this time around because Chan is your thing. I don't understand much about it. I only follow my club, Chelsea and Shabana. I don't really concentrate much on the other things. I only follow Shabana and Chelsea. And in my country, Kenya, when they're playing, I always wear my red jersey and support Kenya. but we play awfully bad. And I hope that we will find our feet before AFCON 27, because we must play really well so that we don't get eliminated from the group stages. So I think when you issue stadiums, I think we might blame everybody, but I blame the previous government for not really seeing it fit to build stadiums, because we cried over the years that build these stadiums, that you say build these stadiums. The president, who was the former deputy president William Ruto, promised Kenya that we should have more than 6 stadiums in I don't know which span of time. But again, his boss did not see it fit to put that money in the budget so that they build the stadiums together. But I like what the president has done. If you now take a look at what is happening in Bungoma, and take a look at what has happened in Kisii, we have a good stadium now, and in Siaya we have a stadium right now, and I saw one good stadium in Kiambu, I think. So if we continue doing these small stadiums, I think we are even uplifting our local talents, because if every county will have a good stadium, that means that we are going to also nurture talents in our locally from the counties going up. That's what bottom up is all about. I think going forward, we should encourage the government to build another city stadium like the one they're building in Nairobi, Talanta Sports Stadium, because Talanta Sports Stadium is going to change a little more in matters doing with sports. Yes.
But you are saying that we should complain about the previous government. But
Hmm.
now, since this Kenya Kwanza government took over, we have 3 years, 4 years. They have been changing this docket for several times. And this is one of the sensitive ministries that we have. Kenyans mostly depend on this sport for their survival. We have football, athletics, we have a lot of sports. You cannot count them here. But now, when you change
When
cabinet, then it means that that CS was not stable. He has not even established himself, then you change him. Juzi tumekuwa na Murkomen, tulikuwa na Ababo na Mwamba, sasa wameleta Salim Mvurya. Mimi mwenyewe nimekuwa kwa press ya Chan draw 2024. Of course nimeona vile anaongea, but kusema tu kweli, that guy does not understand what is football, because kwa press hapo wameulizwa vizuri.
you know,
Chan
you know,
kuhamishwa hadi August, because wamesema August ndio itapelekwa August. Akaulizwa, how does this affect our economy? Because you see every hotels, restaurants, even people were prepared psychologically, but now shifting it to August, how does this affect our team? How does this affect our country? And how
I
is
really, hey, well, I really don't understand why why it was postponed. But maybe if stadiums are the reason why
see
we have
hatuna,
postponed this.
CAF of course it has to check on several things. For example, security. Do you have security? Do you have restaurants? Do you have stadiums? Stadiums that can open a match?
So the
Do you have
problem,
that?
the problem is what stadiums.
The problem ni vitu mingi sana. Hatuna hata security.
Ah no, are we in war? Are we at war? You guys don't love your country. You know this talk
No,
of
we love our
this
country.
talk of no, you don't. This talk of that you guys are trying to push around that the country is on fire is actually collapsing, and very soon most people will be embarrassed when they realize that nobody really cares. That what you say online about the country is really the true picture on the ground. And I'll tell you, maybe because you've mentioned the CSS that have been shuffled, and I blame us the youth, because we really insulted Ababu Namwamba. We showed Ababu Namwamba middle finger, and we made him look like he's some humanizer somewhere who doesn't care about the job. and we had to force the president to remove him from the docket and never return him. And right now, Ababu Namwamba is happily serving as a consulate or an ambassador to a certain country, which is not a job that he really, really should have been doing, because this guy was really transformative in his docket. Because if you see, for example, the recent or the current office of the Minister for Sports and Youth, the Talanta Complex, that was a creative something that they made. For as much as it was hurried up, it was a creative thing that they did. And if you see the kind of things that he's done to Kenya, negotiating for us to return to play football, and making sure that the talent Afcon is being played in EAC, starting building stadiums in advance. Also wakatengeneza hii kiti fulani ya if you break a record you are given 5 million and stuff. They started supporting local talent, wanawashonea nguo hata kama watu walicomplain hiyo nguo ni substandard and stuff. This guy was really eyeing a future in his ministry, and then the youth came up with propaganda and just linked him to Asia and some ladies, and they decided that he should be sacked. Years later, or months later, we are now wishing that he was never removed from the docket. I think I will say we all deserve every problem that we have as a country, because we love complaining so much. We complain a lot. We complain a lot, and we don't offer solutions. So, Bonnie, Kenya does not lack hotels. Kenya does not lack security. Kenya only lacks one thing, and I will agree with you on that. Stadiums are not to standard. For as much as Nyayo Stadium was approved, I think Nyayo is one. Kasarani is undergoing roof placement, and then I don't think we have a third one right now, because Talanta City is far away from getting ready, because it's supposed to be ready by next year, this year December. So it's quite far away. So I think what we should be talking about right now is something being done about it? Yes. And is the government of the day supposed to be blamed for that? I think no, because the president has been in office for 25 months now, or close to 27 now. And I think for as much as we don't give him the benefit of the doubt, we should start accepting the fact that he's doing things that you are not appreciating, but things are being done. For as much as we are not appreciating, things are being done. And very soon, these stadiums will be complete, and that story of building stadiums will be done forever. And I think we should give him a little bit of time, so that they don't also hurry. Wakiharakisha wajenge stadiums ziko substandard, we will be we shouldn't blame you, because we will say that we have spent so much money to build something that will drain ikuwe kama Old Trafford ama kitu yenye iko na panya. So I think we should give these engineers time. They completely create, because if you put a roof that is not well structured, and when we are celebrating it collapses on the fans, we will lose so many lives, and we will have the government to blame on that, for as much as it's an engineer that built it. But the government always takes the fall. So I think it's time we start considering the fact that even the government is not perfect. We are the people that make government, so we are not perfect too. So Boni, hii issue ya sports nitakuachia until tukianza kuongea mambo ya football, niitie Chelsea, niitie Shabana. Those are the only two teams that I told you I
Sawa
support.
sawa. Najua Shabana Gusii Stadium by the way wanafanya vizuri sana. Kwanza hiyo revenue wana collect pale inasaidia vijana sana. Itsi
In fact,
wana
they
support
still.
Shabana.
I still think Shabana has not lived up to the standards that we supposed to get to, because we are supposed to collect minimum of 1.5 million every week. If that stadium is to be facelifted well, and maybe the stands be expanded a little bit, and our town, for example, it doesn't have good roads in town, because nobody ever saw fit to help us build Kisi town. Kisii town is a little congested and the roads are narrow. So if the government can see it fit to even open a highway entering town, because exiting from town to Omigori, it's now a good highway. But entering town and maneuvering through town is a little bit problematic. We don't even have a good parking space, because majority of the people that drive there, they request the Kisii Primary that is opposite the stadium to help them park, and wanaharibu uwanja wa watoto wa kuchezea. So I think there's a lot of things that needs to be done, but if we live up to the standards of, maybe we get to Nyayo standards, we have enough parking, we have enough stands for the fans. Gusii people can fill the stadium and maybe collect revenue to close to 2 million every week, because if the officials also don't embezzle the funds that we collect, because I think through those tickets, and maybe they now look for some good designers. They design those shirts, patent them, and then open a store that sells Shabana things. I think we are going to have a very big team coming up from Kisii, and maybe we'll have enough revenue to sign players and overdo what Gor Mahia is doing. I think it's a matter of time. I think we are getting there.
Yeah, we are getting there. We're getting there. We hope all the best when it comes to the sports docket, and we wish all the best to Salim Vuria, who is the cabinet secretary for the Ministry of Sports. But now changing hiyo sasa, tuachana tunayo, tuingia hapo kwa siasa. Leo tuliona Kalonzo. Of course, Kalonzo today he spoke, and we know he was addressing the issues of abduction in this country after
Yeah, I
the
listened to
former
us.
AG.
I should listen to a sneak peek of what he said. I didn't get a chance to listen to him.
Yeah, nitakuwekea kidogo tu usikie chenye alisema.
Was one of a kind and uncompromising and apologetic in Kenyan. Yesterday evening, we learned of the passing on of senior counsel, our sister Judith Thongori. Thongori was an accomplished and celebrated family and human rights lawyer in Kenya, the region, and the international stage. Gender equality and equity were her forte. She took on many cases.
Are you able to hear him?
Yes, clearly.
Was one of a kind and uncompromising and apologetic in Kenyan. Yesterday evening, we learned of the passing on of senior counsel, our sister Judith Thongori. Thongori was an accomplished and celebrated family and human rights lawyer in Kenya, the region, and the international stage. Gender equality and equity were her forte. She took on many cases pro bono and contributed to the intellectual input in the constitutional making process. I know the senior bar council have been on this, led by the chairman of senior bar council, Fred Ojambo. And a lot is going in that space in celebrating the life of our sister senior counsel Judith Thongori. In their honor, let us have a minute silence. January the 12th, Public Service Cabinet Secretary Justin Muturi, in a standing during a press conference, outlined in shocking detail the harrowing tale of his son, Leslie Muturi's abduction on June the 22nd, 2024, while in the company of Embakasi West MP Honorable Mark Mwenje and driver Marangui Manyara. Honorable Muturi, who was serving as the Attorney General of the Republic of Kenya at the time of his son's abduction, said that he had been waiting for answers for the last 6 months as to why his son was abducted. What should be of concern to any law-abiding citizen is that Honorable Muturi, as Attorney General of the Republic of Kenya, sat on the National Security Council, the top security organ in the country. Honorable Muturi has been seeking answers for the past 6 months, and they have not been forthcoming to someone so senior in the Kenya Kwanza regime. So senior should be a matter of grave concern to all of us. Following Honorable Muturi's statement, the Director of Criminal Investigations, Mr. Amin, invited the Cabinet Secretary to record a statement. If the idea was to cower Honorable Muturi into silence, they picked on the wrong man. If the bombshell of the Sunday statement was not enough, Honorable Muturi signed the statement, clearly and squarely pointed the blame at the main culprit behind the inhuman abductions. A man who joked, made light of the abductions and Gen Z's demonstrations, a man who placed one phone call inside of the State House Nairobi Pavilion to the National Intelligence Service Director General, Nuruddin Haji, and had Leslie Muturi released within an hour. That man, as you have previously stated, is President William Ruto. Fellow Kenyans, the revelations by Secretary Muturi on the identity of the Commander-in-Chief of the abduction squads is quite telling. If the Attorney General of the Republic of Kenya cannot get answers to the whereabouts of his son, who can? If the Attorney General cannot get his phone calls answered by junior staff, such as the DG of NIS, or the DCI Director, who can? If the then Interior Cabinet Secretary, Professor Kithure Kindiki, and PS Raymond Omolo are furnished with lies by their juniors, what is the state of the Kenya Kwanza regime? Fellow Kenyans, the Kenya Kwanza regime has established command and control structures outside of the Constitution of the Republic of Kenya, carrying out illegal and criminal activities against Kenyans. We have actually since established at some headquarters of this abduction squad or somewhere near Ruaraka. As you have previously stated, William Ruto is the Commander-in-Chief of the abduction squads. This has been clearly demonstrated by his own public pronouncements on the abductions, as well as those of his conceited cronies in government. Kenyans and the international community should read between the lines. Mr. Ruto and his lieutenants' chest thumping over 2 weeks ago in Bungoma was not only a gross violation of Mr. Ruto's oath of office, it also bore all the hallmarks of a dictatorship and a crude attempt to instill fear in Kenyans by subduing them into silence. Mr. Ruto's dictatorship, which now kidnaps and tortures people in underground prisons, must be considered as a renegade criminal enterprise. And this in accordance with the ICC's Rome Statute. And for the avoidance of doubt, the Director General of NSIS could not be held responsible alone. The ICC statute talks about the person bearing the highest responsibility. And that is not Nuruddin Haji, that is William Samoei Arap Ruto. The People's Loyal Opposition will not sit back and allow this disgraceful attempt to take us back into the dark days of fear and oppression. We shall lead from the front. You've actually demonstrated leadership from the front because you've been in court. We'll fight them in court, we'll fight them in the streets, we'll fight them everywhere. We demand that Mr. Ruto respects Kenyans and the oath of office he has sworn to preserve under Kenya's Constitution 2010. We also demand the immediate release of the remaining.
Yes, that was Kalonzo Musyoka. I'm very sure you have listened to what he was saying. That was just a short clip of what he was saying today.
Yeah, sure,
unafikiri Kalonzo Musyoka
sure.
ana focus na nini?
No,
Unajua
you know,
hatujamuelewa
before I
kama vile
even,
tunajua vizuri. Saa hii tunajua vizuri
you know,
Gachagua anapigana na serikali baada ya kuondolewa pale. Kalonzo bado hatujamuelewa. Hajaambia watu wa Ukambani, sisi hajatuambia kama anataka kuwa rais. Bado anasema yeye anaongoza upinzani. Mara Junet Mohamed anasema mtu yoyote ambaye anasema anaongoza upinzani atakuwa anachukua kiti yake. Yeye ndio official minority whip opposition. Kalonzo, mbona unafikiri? Hebu tufafanulie Kalonzo anataka nini?
Bonnie, you know, I have said it here before and I will say it again. I've never taken Kalonzo Musyoka seriously, and with all due respect to the supporters of Kalonzo Musyoka, I've never taken that man seriously, not because he's not a good guy, but because he's not ambitious. He's never been serious. So I'm sorry to say that, but I've never seen him as a serious person. And before I even speak about his seriousness, when you say that Kalonzo had a press conference, I knew what he was gonna say before I even listened to the video, because I knew he was going to try to now point fingers at the president, because now that Muturi has come out, he was trying to point fingers at the president, because that's literally what everyone does nowadays. If you want to be on the good side of the media and the good side of the tweeps, Itanga tweeps, those guys who spend majority of their time on social media. If you want to be on the good side with them, just demonstrate that you are insulting the president and you are blaming the president, then you'll be on the good side of them. So I understand Kalonzo Musyoka is playing to the public gallery and trying to earn some little sympathy, but it's okay, because the issue he's talking about is also an issue that I wanted to get to the show and talk about. I wanted to talk about it and I wanted to really discuss it. And I wish that if people join us later, maybe we can also again redo it. But for now, I have enough time to say my mind and to speak my ideas. I think, Bonnie, from my experience, if you work in every government or in every democracy, everybody has a right to do a lot of things, including what Kalonzo has said there in the press, that they are the people's loyal opposition, whatever name that they want to paint themselves. There's nothing like loyal opposition. They are the people that are looking for an opportunity to join government, that maybe join on their own or join through the back door. So that's the name, loyal opposition. But I will say this: if Kalonzo Musyoka and his brigade thinks that by waking up every week from some building. There's a building that is along Mbelia State House Girls, where they usually make those press conference. Najua hapo. They go there every week and they make press conferences. They say things about Ruto and they spend the whole week defending their statement on X and on Facebook. So if they think that's the way to go, I wish them good luck. But I want to tell them one thing. If Kalonzo is ever dreaming of becoming president, he should know that there is one entity in government that you have to protect at all costs, and that entity is called the NIS, the National Intelligence Services. That is that's the backbone of the country. If you dismantle the NIS, you dismantle the country. And I want to talk to those people that are trying to insinuate that our NIS has failed. My friend, we live on the mercy of those people, because those people do not sleep. Those people have their ears in every corner of this country. Even this conversation that we are having here, those people have ears on this, because they know terrorists are always looking for an opportunity to strike. And the moment someone plans a strike, those people will always catch before you know it. And those are the kind of things that you discuss in those Security Council meetings. So when I listen to people like Kalonzo Musyoka trying to castigate the NIS and blame it on the NIS that the NIS has failed the country. Oh, I saw that speech that Rigathi Gachagua made on I don't know the 20 something of June last year, trying to point fingers at the NIS director Nordin Aji. And I saw Muturi doing the same, and I was asking myself, why are these people not focused on the president? They're just focused on one person, Nordin Haji. They are pointing fingers at him and accusing him of abducting people. They're accusing him of uh, not advising the president. And I'm wondering if they thought that the NIS had failed and they had the same advice they wanted to advise the president. And imagine, to your shock, Aboni, when Muturi was when Muturi's son was abducted, he was the AG. Rigathi Gachagua was the deputy president. They both sat in the NSAC, National Security Advisory Council. They sat there. Yeah, yeah. In fact, you know what? I don't have to interpret the constitution for you. The NSAC constitutes of the president, the deputy president, the attorney general, the minister for interior, the PS interior, the attorney general, CS treasury, and the NIS director, DCI, na IG, and the boss were KDF, all the bosses were KDF. Those are the people that sit in the NSAC because that's the highest organ of the country that makes critical decisions at critical moments. So when Rigathi Gachagua was making that press from Mombasa, I'm sure even then the team that sits in that council was banging their heads and wondering what kind of a shan is this guy that we admitted and swore to protect the secrets of the NSAC. Who is this guy? And I'm sure they were frustrated. And again, now Muturi has come out to again do the same thing that Rigathi did. And I'm gonna tell you here, not because I want to show like I know a lot of things. I know Muturi knows his time is up, and his time to serve as a cabinet secretary in the William Ruto government is done. And the earlier we accept that when you go against the NIS of the country, you are the enemy because NIS might be wrong in so many things, but they have protected us from terror attacks before. They have protected us from so many bad things from happening. For as much as they are rogue officials in every entity, I think NIS has done a very good job, regardless of what people are trying to say, because NIS are not given a shoot to kill order because majority of them don't carry guns. No one is. I don't have the real constitutional guidelines on how they operate, but I don't remember them carrying guns and shooting people because that's not their job. Their job is just to be an ear to the ground and advise the president on what to do. So, and this advice is not only given to the president in privacy. This advice is shared to the National Security Advisory Council. Those are the people that sit in that council and listen to everything that is happening in the country. So maybe the only problem that these people that are trying to blame the NIS are having is that this guy that is sitting in this seat is maybe doing things that they didn't want him to do, and or maybe he's finding these people that are doing legal or illegal deals and used to go scot free are being caught before they do it and they are shut down. And maybe it has had some cartels from some regions, and now they are coming out to roast NIS. And I'll tell you, bro, if if we keep on castigating NIS and demoralize the officials that spend the whole night, the whole day, no holidays, to make sure that our country is safe. Because minus those guys, even the Al Shabaab, even the guys that are fighting the Al Shabaab in our borders, and those guys that are in Boni Forest, without the NIS, those guys will be dead in a minute. Because these guys are using the highest technology to spy on us, spy on criminals, fly drones all over the forest at night to see intruders. They are protecting our borders because police or whatever the border patrol, they cannot manage to keep our borders safe alone. They need these guys to keep our borders safe. So when I listen to these senior people that wants to be president or dreams to sit in the highest office or organ in this country, castigate the only body that has kept this country together, and other countries are crumbling and crumbling with problems and war every day. I think we are having a very big problem. And when I see some people on X celebrating that, I say we are having a rotten generation, and we don't have a future, and we don't have leaders in this country that are being born now. The likes of Umtata and Kalonzo and Rigathi Gachagua, those are entitled fellas and people that think that they know it all. But I will tell you, Bonnie, because I usually don't fear talking about hypocrites. These are people that know what comes with presidency. These are people that are well aware with what presidency is. They know the pressure that comes with this seat. They know the kind of information a president has to deal with every day. They know the kind of decisions a president has to deal with every day. But they are here pointing fingers at the only body that has never been biased. The only body that can decide to give us the corrupt judges in this country, because they know the only entity that can decide to undermine any any person that has ever engaged in any corrupt activity in this country. Because if I tell you how many people engage in corruption every day, you might think even William Ruto is a kid in this country, because there are people who engage in corruption every day. Our youth are doing illegal deals, and these NIS sometimes they watch and they're like, you'll get caught. They just turn a blind eye. But I'm sure, I'm not saying that they do, but I'm sure these people know and they see and they watch. So Bonnie, when I look at when I look at the people that complain, I look at leaders that complain. I am like, I think they don't even deserve. They don't deserve to be anywhere near power. They don't deserve to be anywhere near leadership positions. And I really hope that NIS will not feel demoralized to do their job. And Bonnie, this guy called Kalonzo Musyoka is just now acting like a cloud chaser and someone who is not ready to become a leader in this country, because he is not demonstrating to be one. Because he should be among the first people that are should tell the kind of should tame the kind of utterances that are being made to the NIS, because he himself was a vice president and he had an opportunity to sit in the National Security Advisory Council meeting, and he knows the kind of information that a president has to deal with every day. In fact, he was even unlucky to engage with NIS when the country was in a very terrible crisis that we have never seen, 2007, 2008 violence. He managed to sit in that council meeting. So when you all you Kenyans sympathize with these leaders that castigate the NIS, I wonder what kind of brain we are all using, because I don't believe that the brain that we should be using as a people, and elect another leader assuming that we are making a good change. No, we're even going to sink too low and make a very bad mistake. So Bonnie, I think I have answered and interpreted the kind of nonsense that Kalonzo made today. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Vincent, for explaining to us, and of course, with the stand of Kalonzo Musyoka. But did you see that I've seen that there are some rumors that Kalonzo Musyoka might come together with Gachagua The mountain might join the eastern part. You also heard how Gathoni Mushomba and also the other members of Eastern region last year when Danny Maanzo and of course they were having those meetings in the eastern part of Makueni. And Kalonzo might join Gachagua for 2027 so that they can show dust to William Ruto. That is what Gathoni Mushomba has said. I will be looking for that video. That they want to win the
Nothing good.
2027 general election.
Nothing good will ever come from that coalition. Take that to the bank. Nothing good. I'm promising you, because I have dealt with a campaign. I have been involved in campaigning. I want to tell you today, because maybe most of the Kenyans don't know this, but 2022, 2021, 2020, 2020, 2019, 2018, 2017, William Ruto traversed this country like no other person has ever done. I had an opportunity to follow him to so many campaign trips. I can tell you, Rigathi Gachagua was in our team, but 98% of the time he camped in Mount Kenya. He spent 99% of his time in Mount Kenya. He doesn't even understand what other communities do. He doesn't even understand how to talk to other communities. The same applies to Kalonzo Musyoka. Kalonzo Musyoka only knows the Kamba backyard. He only understands the Kamba people. And I can tell you, William Ruto got a lot of votes in Ukambani. Like we surpassed the margin we set. We surpassed that in Ukambani. And I will tell you, Kalonzo Musyoka has not succeeded in folding the Kamba vote to one basket. And he will never do that. Because Kamba people, like the Gusii people, we like to have independent thoughts. We'll have to diversify. You can find my father and I sharing the same house, sharing the same plate. But when it comes to elections, we elect whoever we think we agree with their policies. We don't have that Mutuetu syndrome from our region. That's why you have not seen us celebrating the likes of the Maraga and Matiangi's names being thrown all over, because we know how to investigate someone. We know how to uplift our leaders. We gave Nyachai a try in 2002 and we voted him to the man. That's how we operate. Since then, we have never voted in one basket until we find a good leader who is ready to unite us. That's when now again we come together and vote for one person. And I will tell you, these guys that are trying to make a coalition, they're trying to form a coalition, they're trying to uh, kuuzia Ruto uoga. They are trying to just scare the president that we are going to take the mountain away from you. We are going to take the Kamba vote from you. We are going to add Natembea to the equation and take the Luya vote from you. And we are going to look for one person from I don't know where and take votes. Let me advise these people. We have 3 years to elections. 3 good years to elections. And the best is yet to start. And you're about to see what politics is. Because for those of us who are mature enough to watch William Ruto campaign for Uhuru Kenyatta in 2015, 2016, 2017, my friend, I can tell you, if that guy can look for a job that is not his, the way he did in 2017, what do you think he'll do when he's looking for his own job? What do you think he'll do? That guy has never bank on anyone's. I can't give hopes zake kwa mtu 100%. He only believes in him. And that's the reason why he has succeeded in politics. You see why Raila has always had a problem in his election, because he banks on the wrong team all the time. William Ruto banks on his own team, and he banks on himself first, and then second his team, because the team has to play to his rules by the letter. So when I see these people every day jumping up and down, making press conferences left, right, and center, trying to insinuate that the mountain has been swayed away from William Ruto, and then and the Kamba votes will go to William Ruto, the Luya votes will go to whoever, or sorry, the Kamba votes will go to Kalonzo. I kind of sympathize with them because Rigathi Gachagua is impeached, and by law, he ceases to hold office until 2034, I think so, 10 years. So in those 10 years, you all don't know what will happen to him because from the look of things, I don't think Rigathi Gachagua is someone who has a very long lifespan, and maybe God forbid, or Mungu akimjalia afike miaka 70, itakuwa bahati because he has a black heart. And I'll tell Kenyans today that guy has a black heart and he does not love anyone. That guy only loves his community, people that know how to speak his language. And he must be ashamed of himself because that's the only thing that got him impeached. And no Kenyan stood up for him. No Kenyan, except a few people that made noise in Nyeri. Because that's what happens when you have the backing of your only people. I'm sure even the people from his community, some of them can't even speak publicly because they are ashamed of the kind of leader that they had. And right now, they have refused to embrace Kindiki, not because he does not know how to speak Kikuyu, but because he does not front the interests of one community. But has the president really betrayed the mountain? No. I'll say that without any fear of contradiction, because since independence, show me a president, show me one single president that had a representation in cabinet or in higher offices of more than 7 people. Show me one. None. The highest that has ever been in cabinet, 10, that William Ruto has done to them. No mercy. They just hate him. Because what? Because someone called Rigathi Gachagua has told them that they have been betrayed. In quote, they have been betrayed. How? Because he was kicked out as a tribal lord, or because he was destabilizing government from inside out? Yes, I will tell these people from the Mount Kenya, and I will not fear. If you keep on doing the politics that you are doing, it will get to a point where you will try to form a coalition with any community. These communities will just look at you and say, oh, ndio mwende mwanze kupindua serikali yetu kutoka ndani, right? And do you know what happens when you start having trust issues? You'll be isolated and you'll be hated. And that's what happened in 2007. So, are Kenyans ready for a repeat of 2007? No. But are the people from the Mount Kenya care? They don't. For as long as their stomachs are full, they have highways up to their doorsteps, and other communities are suffering. They don't have electricity. Other communities doesn't have good roads. They don't care. For as long as they can speak their mother's language, they can go to their villages in 30 minutes, they can access Nairobi in 15 minutes, they don't care. And that's the same reason I want to talk to the Kamba people. In fact, as I speak to you, Bonnie, I am in Kitui. There has never been a water solution in Kitui. 15 years since devolution, there is still drought. You know how we suffered when we were students here. You know that we suffered because we had to wait for these tuk-tuks to bring us dirty water, salty water every day, and you buy one container at 20 shillings. Water that cannot even last you for a single day because salty water is wastewater. So if the Kamba people really are serious that they want to form government, they should first ask themselves. They've had devolution for close to now 13 years. They've had governors for 13 years. There has been a budget to these counties for how long? 13 years. Where has that money gone to? Look at the kind of classes that we have in Kitui, for example. They have members of parliament who are braggadocious. They even don't feel ashamed of standing behind Kalonzo and clapping. A person who was deputy president, a deputy president from a vice president from Kitui. Look at what happens in Mwingi, for example. The state of schools there, the roads in Mwingi, the kind of people that don't have access to electricity. And those people proudly say that we have Kalonzo, our leader from our region. They should be ashamed of themselves because kama sio mvua and climate that has improved in this area that they can receive minimal rains during the third or fourth quarter of the year, they should be they should be in a desert because I think that's what they deserve. Because they don't seem to care that they don't have water. The only thing they care about is where is Kalonzo taking us. And that's why I don't want my community to have a leader. I don't want my KC people to have a leader because if you're going to have a leader and be headless, I don't want it. And that's why the lawyers are also doing their own things because they don't believe in having some leader. The Kalenjins have had leadership for now 26 years now. They still don't have better lives. Kikuyus have had leadership for 34 years. They don't have, not everybody is having good access to health care. Sio kila mtu anaweka chakula mzuri kwa meza kila siku. Not everyone is taking their children to first class schools. Not every parent is affording a vehicle or a private means of transport in Mount Kenya. Not every parent is wearing or has built a permanent house in Mount Kenya. No, government does not uh, uh, enrich everybody. That's what Kenyans are mistaken. And that's one thing that I will tell you here today without any fear of contradiction. And I don't care what Kenyans are thinking about me right now, whoever is listening, because now we have started turning to be, we are selling our country to the dogs. We are selling our country to activists who are now wearing a sheep's skin na ndani yao ni mbwa mwitu. People have been trading people's organs to international donors for funds. People have been doing illegal things, posting pictures za watu maskini so that they have funds from the donors abroad. That's what some people that are acting as saints on X do every day. That's where they survive from. That's why they are giving most of us pressure that we are not successful in life. Watu wanafanya illegal deals, lakini their time wana spend on Twitter kutoka Monday hadi Monday, giving you pressure. That's the kind of life we have gotten into. That's why you are seeing so many people are very idle. They just wait for something to anger them, watoke waende wachome matajiri pia wao wafanane. That's where we have gotten to. And I will tell you, Bonnie, and I will never stop until Ukambani, especially Ukambani, is saved from this kind of leadership. Because you can't tell me that at 21st century, in 2024, we don't have piped water. We still rely on water from these small water catchment areas that people have built for their animals. We can't be relying on those things. In fact, I think we have lost the comradeship from university students. When I was a student, like an active student, continuing student at SIT, we could not have allowed such kind of a thing to happen because right now, these guys here cannot even stand up to bad leadership because they contribute to the economy of Kitui. They contribute greatly to the economy of this county and they deserve to be connected to water permanently. And the day I will find a chance to speak before any leader from this county, I will tell them to be ashamed. And Bonnie, today, I am glad I'm here because I told you this year is not going to be easy, and I'm not going to spare anybody. I'm going to spend my entire year trying to tell people that if you think you know best, we also know something that you don't, because that's what makes us different, and we have a different perspective. And the reason why I believe most of the people hate the president right now is because they expected that during his tenure, the illegal deals they used to do, the money laundering that was going on, will be wholesale. Everybody will have access to that money. But what has NIS done to them? It has shut the illegal deals. And now some people are suffering in silence. They can't complain. They can't say it. The only difference between what William Ruto has done and what Uhuru and Matiang'i did is that if you were captured doing illegal deals, you were shot dead and fed to the dogs, or some buried somewhere in Shakahola, or your body is found in River Yala or River Tana. But are Kenyans appreciating the fact that we are trying to have someone who is allowing us to discuss issues, a bill that is not even supposed to spur emotions nowadays goes to public participation. We discuss it online until we turn it into something else, because we believe in those people that have so many followers on X. We think they know more than us. We believe that their opinion is superior than what the people that designed the bill have. So when I look at the kind of illiteracy that is becoming of we the youth especially, I am shocked of the future, Bonnie, and I don't know. I wish to be president one day, but if this is the kind of ship that I'm going to lead, I don't know if I'm gonna be a good leader too. I think I'm gonna be bad, worse than what you people think William Ruto has done. Because in my government, I want order, and I like what, for example, and allow me to deviate a little bit. Allow me congratulate Sakaja and Mosiria, whatever they are doing in Nairobi. That has to be done. It has to be painful. It will be merciless. It will be chaotic, but that has to be done. We must have a city that is orderly, and that has to be done because I saw Rigathi Gachagua in Nairobi trying to incite his community. That has to be done, and the earlier we start accepting that change is not easy, change has to be painful, but it has to be done. The same thing applies to SHA. Whether we like it or not, NHIF was collapsing. Whether we like it or not, our hospitals were laundering money through NHIF, and now majority of these big hospitals that are run by private people, especially my Catholic church, and I am sorry to say that there are people in my church who are also cartels, who are running illegal and parallel deals from NHIF, claiming to have performed operations that are more even than what these big hospitals perform in a good day. So the moment you stop something from happening, change will either affect you positively or negatively. That's one fact that we must accept as a people. And I'm here today to beg you, the people of Kenya and the youth that are listening to me, that we have lost conscience. We have lost our nationalism. We have lost our identity. We need to go back to what we used to be, reasonable people. We are insulting everybody. We have turned into unpatriotic Kenyans who are even writing emails to kings and queens, royal places, informing them that Kenya is insecure. We are scaring investors away from investing in our country just to see the president fail. They think that is failing the country. My friend, we are failing as a people. We are failing the tourism sector. We are failing those people that would have maybe worked as security. No. So, bro, I'm not here today to laugh with anyone, and I'm sure these people will come at me at guns blazing. But I don't care. Today, I'm here to defend my country because the country of Kenya is bigger than any one of us. Not even William Ruto owns this country. Not even Raila Odinga. Not even these guys that brag on Twitter that they are bigger Kenyans than others. My friend, we were all born here and we will die here. And before we even die, we will also show these people that are patriotic that we are also Kenyans. I thank you, Bonnie. Nimeongea masaa mingi, karibu 20 minutes.
So I'm very sure Kenyans are looking forward to see what is going to happen in 2027. But I can see Labano Misiani saying that hao watu wa mlima wawache mchezo. Ruto amaliza yake 10 aende Sungoi. That is Labano Misiani is saying that watu wa mlima wawache mchezo. Ruto amaliza yake 10 aende Sungoi. Lakini pia watu wanasema kwamba 2027 mambo inaweza badilika sana. Lakini pia rais pia akiulizwa amejipanga aje pale mwaka wa 2027, alisema kwamba yeye kazi yake ni kubadilisha Kenya na is a man on a mission. And also you have seen today I was following closely to what Gathoni wa Mushomba said. He supported what Natembeya said. I think the mountain still is confused. They have not settled because they are trying to support anyone who is trying to criticize the Kenya Kwanza government. But of course, the president is saying that he's a man on a mission. How will we survive? You know, that is today also I was in the CBD very closely, just listening to what Kenyans are saying. And I support to what you said because I was following the wrangles between the county council and also those orcas around the CBD. By now, CBD is very clean. I'm very sure if it goes like that, then we are going to enjoy that. Because I was with my friends from Morocco and others from Angola and another one from Niger, and they were telling me the CBD looks so clean that we don't have those orcas. You are just passing very smoothly. But others are saying that Sakaja has denied those people to get their source of living. Of course, they were getting source of living from selling those items over there. But now we have to maintain our city because that is the capital city of Nairobi. That is where we have the headquarters, we have the Senate, we have the Parliament. So personally, from my own point of view, I think burning hawkers around the CBD is one of the key areas that will maintain our city. But now, do you think that this is one area whereby Kenyans will say it is Kenya Kwanza government?
Bonnie, Bonnie, let me tell you something. You know, the reason why I hate that city is one thing, and the reason why I've never felt comfortable to stay in Nairobi is because I don't know if you've ever been in town during peak hours. I don't know if you've ever been there. Na ukwe uko na cargo, and you are walking through this Tomboya Street, for example, heading to Afya Center or going to somewhere. You even don't see vehicles. You only see people selling things. What time do those people pay tax? Do those people even contribute to our economy? Because who even supplies those watches, those books, those clothes to them? Who supplies to them? What time do they pay taxes? Who clears them to be there? That's the first question we must ask ourselves. Number two, Bonnie, that's the capital city of this country. That's the capital city of Kenya. A city that is supposed to be orderly, that traffic should be movable. Vehicles should be vehicles, especially these matatus that pick Kenyans from Nairobi and take them to their residencies. These vehicles should be just carry and go. They should not be hanging in Nairobi, making the noise, making those horns that they make all day. Sometimes you get to the city and in 30 minutes you're overwhelmed. You don't even think, you are not even creative. You even your plans that you had collapse the moment you step your feet in CBD. Sometimes gari inapita inaumwagia uchafu, unaenda kusonga hivi unakanyaga nyanya ya mtu, unakanyaga matunda. That's the kind of city we have in Nairobi. For as much as people praise us in Africa that we have the green city in the sky, I don't know what happens, what other countries are doing to their cities. Because if Nairobi is the country, the city that other cities are looking up to, then the other cities are messed up because our city is messed up. And I want to tell Sakaja, wherever, or Syria, or the president, because I heard the president giving orders. I want them to not even sometimes care about what these hawkers say. Let those hawkers be given a street huko Mudhurwa huko chini, wapewe street huko wauze nguo huko, wapewe street huko wauze mabati, wauze vitu wanauza huko, scrapes. Saa let's have a city that is orderly. Hiyo kuhang vitu wamehang every door, those advertisements, let those things be removed. Because sometimes when you're carrying some luggage and you're heading to a stage, you sometimes find yourself hanging or hitting those advertisements now. And I think it's time that we start supporting such kind of motives, because for a city to be even to have sanity, because imagine when someone steals a phone in the city, the only reason these people escapes from you is because those hawkers that are standing everywhere will block you from running against after the thief. Those vehicles that stop everywhere are the hubs where these people hide. But if we manage to clear those messes in the city and clean the city and start repairing the walk paths where people walk, we are going to have a city of order. And Kenyans should come up and support this thing. And we must tell these hawkers, for as much as we know you are making a living out of this, you also have to show respect to our city. You have to be orderly. And in fact, I want to issue maybe a statement to the county government of Nairobi and the president of Kenya. The number of illegal migrants in Nairobi, the number of these people that sell njugu and kahawa, and I don't know, hizi za kuosha gari hizo, hizo ya kuosha windscreen. Those people that are selling those things are not Kenyans, because there's a day we stopped, tulikuwa kwa jam hapo Waiyaki way, and some guy came and sold something for my friend's car. And when we requested the number, it brought a certain name that was more Burundian and or Rwandese. And I was like, how have these people all of a sudden overtaken Kenyans
Hao
in selling these
wamejaa.
things? Yes, that's the same thing that's happening in where I am right now. Every day, they are here selling tea, they're here selling mandazi, they're here selling things, they are selling perfumes, they are selling clothes, they are hawking all over, making money and exporting it to their country. And nobody's speaking about that. Our focus is insulting other countries, insulting our president, making a bad picture of our country, not respecting our leaders. That's what we are doing, and we have forgotten the basic principle of citizenship, protecting your country at all costs. So I think it's time we start supporting this kind of things that Mosiria and Sakaja are doing in Nairobi. For as much as people are insulting these people, cleaning that city will only make it better. And for as much as they are cleaning the Nairobi River, if they clean the Nairobi River, because that's what the president is doing, you clean the Nairobi River, build good houses for people, and then make a good sewerage system for the city. From there, the road network will improve, walk paths will improve, and then all of a sudden, the city will be clean. And then now we move into creating jobs, because that's how you transform a city. We have lost our minds as Kenyans. We are blaming, and we are allowing tribal bigots like Gachagua to come to our city and lecture Kenyans that they are collaborating to chase Kikuyus who are selling things in Nairobi. and allowing Somalis to thrive. You know, when I listen to these guys speak, I sometimes wonder how his people from his backyard support him, because this guy is messed up. And I am sorry to say this, that was a mistake, and it must never repeat again in this country. We must never have such kind of a leader anywhere in this country, because if we have such kind of a leader in this country, we are going to have another Kenyatta. We are going to have another Kenyatta who, in my opinion, extended the colonial period to 14 more years. So, my brother Bonnie, let me tell you, this is how we infect change, and we must face it head on. And it's time we do it. And we do it whether people like it or not. I think I will submit up to that, and I will proceed. Bonnie.
So like now, in whose hands sasa 2027 tutakuaje? 2027 tutakuaje? Maana ukiangalia Gachagua anataka kuingia pale 2027, tukiangalia Kalonzo pia hajatuambia, tukiangalia pia Natembea anataka kuwa president, tukiangalia pia viongozi wengi sana. Matiang'i yako pale. Matiang'i kwanza siku hizi anatokea tu polepole. Watu wanasema kwamba Matiang'i anapatiwa support na Uhuru Kenyatta. Ni ukweli?
Bonnie, you know, everybody has a right to run for president. Na unajua William alisemanga, you know, William is some philosopher that people don't even recognize. They hate him to a level where they don't even study his politics. William Ruto once told Kalonzo, and I know that clip is famous. He said, and I will quote him, unajua hawa watu wanakusukuma usimame, lakini ujue hata mimi niliambiwa pia hivyo nisimame na watu wetu. He then went ahead and said, kwa kusimama ni wengi, lakini wa kushinda hiyo ni tofauti, because the winner is always one. So that's a principle of competition. There will only be one winner, and the smartest always win, and that's what politics is. So everybody has a right to run for president. I can decide 2027 I have the requisite qualifications to run for president. I just submit my names to IBC. I'm cleared by KRA, I'm cleared by DCI, and I'm cleared by whoever. And if IBC clears me to run, there I am. I just need to just make a few merchandise, publicize myself, make some funny jokes about my opponents, and people will start talking about me, and that's how you run for president. But is that how you win? No, that's not how you win. So if I ask you, for example, who is Matiang'i's constituency? Matiang'i comes from my backyard, and I will tell you without any fear of contradiction, he has not consolidated his constituency. And even if he had to consolidate my constituency of Kisii and Nyamira, we only got a maximum of 800 to 900,000 votes. Is that enough to make you president? No. Number two, let's assume you have gotten 100% votes from Kisii and Nyamira. You need 25 counties, 25 counties, and you need to have at least 25% of the support from those counties. Tell me where Matiang'i is going to get 25% of the votes from 25 counties. From Kikuyu? No. From Kalenjin? No, because those are the two regions from the Kalenjins and the Kikuyus. Those are the two counties that contribute, because Mount Kenya has 9. The Rift Valley has, is it 11? Something like that. 11 counties. Those are 20. You only need 5 counties from outside and you make requisite requirement to be president. That's what people ignore. And you need that. Number 3, you need to get to 50 plus 1. 50% plus 1. You need to get there. How do you get there? You need to gather at least half of the votes cast. At least more than half of the votes cast. Is that even easy? With one constituency, Kisii County and Nyamira County? Gusii speaking. No, you're not winning presidency with that. So will you rely on these people on social media that are pushing Umtata to run, and months later they don't even talk about him? They are focused on Matiang'i, they are focusing on Maraga. They don't even care about Umtata anymore because they know he's not serious. He's not going anywhere. So if you bank on such kind of people, you are lost, because during elections, 99% or 96%, let me just use that because I don't want to also act like I know more. 96% of the youth don't even travel up country to vote, because majority of them have their votes not moved from up country in the villages. Majority of them don't even move to the villages to vote. They prefer to sleep in Nairobi and watch TikTok. And that's how we will win our presidency again in 2027, because they will be busy singing Sakayo must go and Kasongo must go on TikTok and Twitter and Facebook, and real people will be voting on the ground. Our mothers in the villages who are feeling the impact of rural electrification, people who are seeing roads in the rural areas, people who are seeing healthcare working in their villages. You see, people whose cows are going to be vaccinated, whether some people on X complain or not. My friend, I'm telling you, if these are the kind of people that people are banking on to run for presidency, I'm sorry, man. For as long as Raila Odinga wins the AUC seat, the constituents that William Ruto will have going to the ballot will be even bigger than what he had in 2022. And I'm telling you this, take it to any bank and take a loan with it, and I will help you repay if we lose. So, bro, if anyone is somewhere here seated and listening to us and thinking like they are going to win an election just because some people who are popular on X are saying that they have numbers, no, because they collect opinion polls and 44,000 people vote against the president, my friend, the president is voted for over 7 million votes. That's a fact that even the people from Mount Kenya know, and they know that. That's why some of them are silent. And when I tell you the silent majority will one day rise from the Mount Kenya region until Rigathi Gachagua goes style up, it will happen very soon. And you will see. It's a matter of time. And I'm telling you, Bonnie, today, the Kamba people must wake up, because this is one community that among the few Bantus in the country, because we are not so many. The Bantus are us, the Kisi, Kurias, and Luyas, and the whatever, the Kikuyus who sees us less humans, because we are both Bantus, but we have never even benefited from their reign. So if the Kambas will keep on making mistakes, and now they have been lied to that they are cousins from the Mount Kenya region, they have been lied to, and they are about to fall for that trap. And I want them to do that, because at the end of the day, these dams that are supposed to be built in a region where there is a problem of drought, because I don't think in the Mount Kenya region drought is really a big problem and there is a problem of water. I don't think that is a problem. These dams are supposed to be constructed here in Machakos, in Kitui, in Makueni, for irrigation purposes, so that there can be greens, and maybe green cover will start attracting rainfall. But the people of the Campania, are they saying that? No. They are hearing what people are saying on social media, and they're saying Ruto is unpopular. I'm here, I know. So, bro, when I tell you that the problem of Kenya isn't even education, the problem of Kenya is ignorance. And we are both ignorant, and we will live to be like that, and we will regret. So I'm sorry to say this, but William Ruto is winning this seat, whether you like it or not. So people should start embracing his presidency now, because they are going to miss him when he gets out of power. I submit.
Hey, that is the Honorable Vincent Machoka saying that people will miss President William Ruto if he gets out of power.
Bonnie, don't you think they will? Because we miss Uhuru. I heard people saying they miss Uhuru. In fact, I wish you were the center stage of campaigns. You aren't as much. That time when we were in campus, I was at the center stage of campaigns, and I can tell you, my friend Uhuru Kenyatta was hated. Uhuru Kenyatta was hated. People hated the policies. People hated everything he did. They even complained about Expressway and SGR. Right now, they even wish Uhuru Kenyatta could have continued for another term. So when I tell you people will miss William Ruto even more, I know what I'm saying. And we will maybe revisit this video in 2034.
Yes, history, of course. There is a time when we had that Torotich Arap Moi ruling. We had President Kenyatta. Now we have William Ruto, who is now the president. We shall live to remember, of course, of what is happening. But a lot of Kenyans, I'm just telling you from what I'm hearing. They are saying that 2027 they are going to vote so that they can make a decision. So we are waiting to see which kind of decision are they going to make now. Which kind of decision they are going to make after 2027. But of course, I know very well that 2027, a lot of things are going to cook up. I thought that Kasmuel Makur is going to be the Gen Z leader, but they are saying that he was he was seduced until he joined the government. Is Kasmuel in the government?
Bonnie, let me tell you. You know, one reason why I admire Makore is that Makore is strategic. In politics, you have to have strategy. You can never fight from outside. You will not win. You don't win when you fight from outside. You will only have some small wins to celebrate. The Gen Z had their moment in June. That moment will never recur again. That's why you saw this story of abduction was cooked and everybody just uh, went on about the business and nobody complained. So when I tell you Makore is smart, is because not because he's working with my president, but because he knows what he's going to do with these people close to him. They're going to mentor him. For as much as we hate them, even Umtata, these people that you think hate these people, my friend, these people look up to their campaign strategy. How did these people win the election? What did they do differently? How did they defeat the system? How did they defeat Raila Odinga and Uhuru Kenyatta combined? You see? And what are they going to do now that they think we are against them? So, do you think these people don't study William Ruto's strategy? They do. So, Makore sat down and realized, oh, kumbe mimi nimezaliwa Nyanza, yes. If I want to run for a seat, where do you go to? Where you were born, where the people know you, where your constituency is, where you vote, where your mother goes to hospital, where your mother lives and drinks water there. That's where you go and run. So when Makore looked at, oh, kumbe I come from this community, yes. And this community, for the past 60 years, they have been united under one person, the Odinga. Am I some robot? Am I some God sent angel who does not know that? I know. So Kasmuel sat down to himself and said, oh, I've been called a traitor, yes, but this other side is ready to embrace me. I should jump ship, go there, act dumb, learn, make myself a good name, and maybe I will have the blessings of these people to run for a seat in my home and be something. And then when I'm inside government, all those things that I used to say outside there, I will try my level best to implement them and stand by my word. That's what you do. All these choir and choral and praise and worship things that you see from Murara's team, you see from Umtata's team, and these other teams, those things does not win someone an election. And I want to dare these people that are saying that they are going to vote in numbers to even tell us if they know what a ballot paper looks like. They should tell us if they know how a voter's card looks like. because they don't care. They have never cared. Nothing is going to change. They're just issuing threats 4 years to elections. And I want to dare them to prove me wrong because that's what I want them to do. And I'm daring them today to catch and to register for votes, to register as voters in good numbers, and turn up to vote because that's another story. Turn up to vote because this time around, we're also going to turn up in large numbers to make sure that we also tell you that we agree with the principles that the president is doing. And I'm telling every Kenyan seated and listening to me right now, and you should take it again to the bank and borrow a loan and take a loan with it. We are going to surpass the 9 million mark in 2027. So you better look for 10 million votes. I don't know from where, but you better do that. Bonnie, I'm telling you today, Makore is going to be a member of parliament if he runs under the blessings of Raila Odinga and William Ruto. He's going to be a member of parliament in 2027. And God willing, I will be also a member of parliament or a member of county assembly in 2027 if I decide to run, because that's how you be strategic. If you want to be president and impact change, you have to do it smart, you have to do it carefully, you have to learn how these people operate because you can't just go there and start bullying NIS. You can't just get into government and start bullying the KDF and the police. Those people will. Those are the people that protect you as president. Those are the people that fly you in planes. Those are the people that make sure that your schedule is planned and your security is briefed and your protection is careful. That if you are going to a danger zone, they protect you. So Boni, when you see these people insulting NIS, they will get to those seats one day and they will wish they didn't say what they are saying now. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Honorable Vincent Machoka, for those kind of pure and good analysis for our Freak 24 political discussion. And of course, we want to say this. Thank you so much for today's time and for those who are following this conversation through all our social media platforms. And to say thank you so much, and we are looking forward to having more discussion every day here in Africa 24. But the question that I will always ask is, in whose hands will Kenyans citizens be safe?
I can answer
Whose
you that.
hands?
I can answer you that.
Yes, please.
You can only be safe in your own hands because you are the only person who knows the kind of skeletons or the number of skeletons you have in your closet. Even your mother doesn't know the kind of evil things you've done with your life. Nobody knows what you've done with your life because the moment you get out of your mother's womb, you disconnect from them and you become just their son by blood or their daughter by blood. So, whatever it is that you do with your life is upon you. So, if you are asking about in whose hands we are safe, I think you should look at your hands first and say, are my hands even clean? Before I can depend on someone else's hands to hold me, I should have my hands cleaned first and sanitized properly so that I don't infect other people. So I think when I look at my hands and I look at everyone's hands, I usually say my hands might not be as clean as I wish them to be. My president's hands might not be as clean as I want them to be, but I feel safe him holding my hands. And I will say this to every Kenyan. I know deep down you feel safe that we have William Ruto as president, but hate and rage has protected and has prevented you from seeing that. And I ask you to just go back to factory resetting. Think about where we've come from as a country. And just imagine if we had this energy that we have as Kenyans of criticizing. Imagine if we would have transformed that into solutions, creativity. Where will we be as a country? Far. So, Bonnie, I think I've answered your question well.
Yeah. Thank you so much. You have answered it very well, of course. But Kenyans, they want to get that support from their leaders, anyone who is representing them. But anyway, in William Ruto, you are saying that you are safe. So by 2032, then we shall be here trying to talk and discuss again in Africa 24 on, and we shall review on what we said here today on Africa 24. But 2027, I know things are eating. 2027, things are going to be a little bit hotter because Kenyans are now looking forward on who is going to be the president on 2027. But I'm very sure it is going to be a easy zone for William Ruto if Raila wins 2025. Do you think that Raila winning 2025 AU chairmanship will influence anything?
Uh, we will be here. I talked about that, I think, last week, or the last time I had a chance here to speak. I said whether he wins or loses, our brothers from Luo Nyanza have embraced the president because they have realized how much other communities kind of hate them. And these communities, they're underdeveloped. And people are blaming Raila on it. For as much as I feel like I also sometimes blame Raila, this guy has only held power in 2007 to 2012. And in those times, we were dealing with difficult times. We were coming out of a very serious war. The economy had collapsed. So he might have gotten a chance as prime minister to stabilize the country. He got that position just for stability of the country, not for development. And if you can see the fruits of the handshake that he had with Mwai Kibaki. The people that benefited are the Kikuyus because during that time is when Thika Superhighway was built. During that time is when the major roads heading to Kikuyu land were built. So he was used as a coy or a toy to just keep things calm. But what William Ruto has done with Raila Odinga is different. He has given him power to take development to his people. He has allocated 3 cabinet secretaries. In fact, people that sit in cabinet, including the Attorney General from the Luo Nyanza, to just speak for the people of Luo Nyanza who have been voiceless for a very long time. So I think it's time for them to also look back at 2007 and see the suffering that William Ruto underwent to make sure the Raila Odinga won the presidency and also repay that debt. I think they're going to support him whether he wins or not. But I know I said this last year when the campaign was starting for the AUC, when people didn't believe it would happen. I told you William Ruto is a go-getter. He's a man that once he puts his head into something, he will achieve. 1 year later, he only needs Raila Odinga only needs 12 presidents to get the magic number because the rest of the numbers have already confirmed that they are going to support him. And you see what William Ruto has done? In 1 week or two, he has summoned all the presidents of Africa to Kenya because he's acting in his capacity as the chairperson of the reforms. He has summoned them to Kenya and he will use that chance to persuade and convince those 12 that they might have not reached out to. But you saw Raila already broke at two yesterday. He had a chance to speak to Mnangagwa of Zimbabwe. He had a chance to speak to another president today, I saw. He's also making efforts on his own. And the Luos are seeing the kind of support that the president has given him. I wish Raila Odinga had William Ruto on his side. He doesn't need other people because once you have William Ruto on your side, you're winning. So there is going to be a very big celebration next month on the 25th. And Bonnie, I'm inviting you to also prepare yourself with a good suit because that day people will wear expensive suits because if you want to know the kind of people that know how if you want to know the kind of people that know how to enjoy power,
Bora
our
mimi
brothers from the
nijotee kitu.
Lunya. Hapana bana, wewe shona suti alafu tutakuambia location. Wewe usijali, utaambiwa location. So for now we have won this thing, whether you like it or not, whether Kenyans that hate Raila Odinga or William Ruto like it or not. Raila Odinga is the AUC chairperson, and the Nyanza region at large is going to celebrate. Is going to be so happy, and I think some people are going to be so bitter and so angry. But ole wao, Kenya itasonga mbele whether they like it or not. Thank you.
Kenya itasonga mbele whether they like it or not. That is Honorable Vincent Choka saying that they will not believe it. Anyway, I want to say thank you so much for those who have been following the conversation since we started 2 hours ago. And before we terminate the show, I just to ask Honorable Vincent. Honorable Vincent, we have seen counties. I just want this to be your parting remarks. We have seen county governments being complained that they are not working. Now, do you think that this devolution really made these governors to get close to the money, and this is the highest reason that is making them to squander public resources in finance?
Bonnie, I'm sure you have a very good memory. Last year, I lost my book, by the way. I lost my book during the protests in June last year, and I really feel bad about it. I had a very detailed discussion here last time with you, Mzalendo, and there's the other guy from the United States, the guy from Mount Kenya. I don't remember his name.
Yeah, Buru.
Yeah, when I was talking, yeah, Buru. When I used to talk about the problem we have as a country, we have two problems. We have the problem of member of parliament, MPs, for that matter. We have a problem with governors because there are so many. There are so many. For as much as devolution has really eased the pressure on employment to the national government, it has also devolved a lot of corruption. It has enriched 47 individuals at the expense of other taxpayers. And for as much as we hate Shah, at least we can see the regulations. But you see the governors. The governors are overestimating their revenue collection every year. Some of them know that they surpass that. That's why they are overestimating so that they target more and eat more and claim that they didn't get to the target they missed. Okay? That's what these people do. And they have done that over the years. I wrote that thing down and I had a lot of analysis about it and I was ready to present it to any media station that was ready to listen to my story. And I wanted to tell them this is the very reason why we have devolution. To me has really not gotten to the dreams of our forefathers that had a thought of it. I feel like we decided to just launder money to counties because those people, majority of them are stealing the money outrightly and they don't care because they know how to maneuver this Senate that we have. Because that's another problem that I've said here. the kind of leaders that we put in those houses. Because also, the people that clear these members of parliament to run for office are also corrupt. They don't give us clean leaders who have a clean track record. Thirdly, the problem is us, the people. We accept bribes from leaders before we elect them. So these leaders, when they get to office, what do? Recover their money first. That's what we have done as a country. So we can't blame one side. We also need to blame ourselves. So when I tell you, Bonnie, devolution will keep on stealing money from us and we can't do anything about it. You need to believe me because devolution might have worked, but it has really enriched a few people at the expense of millions of taxpayers. So I think if this is my parting shot, I think we have to start thinking about how we look at the money that has been collected in the counties over the years, the money has been allocated to the counties from the national government over the years, vis-a-vis the expenditures, the developments, and the kind of employment opportunities they have created to our people. Otherwise, if we calculate those three things and the books does not balance, because it's already not balancing. If you see, for example, the problem of pending bills, so we're close to 700 billion. If I can tell you that close to 500 billion is from counties, you won't believe me because counties have 400 and something billion, universities have 70 something billion, the national government has close to 200 and something billion. That's the problem we have as a country. So, are the counties really helping us as much as we wanted them to? No. What should be done is a solution that I had also crafted, and I can't remember the exact words I used, but I felt like counties are good, but maybe we should have regional counties. We have just a regional county, and then we have now mayors, or we have the way America does it. We have a governor of a state, and then we have mayors. You see, we have a mayor from Kisi town, Kisi County now. We have a mayor from Nyamira. And we call that region under one governor, who is now from Nyanza region. If we can do that, we are going to minimize this problem of electing someone from your village so that you can have your time to eat. Because that then will be the solution to the problem we have. Because there's too many governors, corruption is rampant, and we can't control it. And the president alone can't do it. We have to help him. So I think if you are going to wind up this debate tonight, I wish to also take this opportunity to say that today we've had a very nice discussion. For those people who are going to listen to this 1 hour 48 minutes debate, we've really spoken a lot of things. We've really said a lot of things. We have talked about uh, government issues, and we are going to do this every day. And kindly to those of us who are following. And today there has not been much interaction with us, and I hope people will interact with us next time. I want you to all open your mic. Come here, let's challenge each other. Let's all sell our eggs. If mine are bad, don't buy. If yours are good, we can buy. But don't be scared of speaking because that's what democracy has done to our country. And the beauty of it is that everything that I've said is regarded as my opinion, and I can't be challenged in court for my opinion because that's the beauty of our democracy. I thank you all so much. To those who are going to sleep, have a very good night and see you. Adios. Thank you, Bonnie, for the
Perfect, perfect, Honorable Vincent Machoka, and thank you for your time. And if you're following us for the first time, remember to always follow the conversation in Africa
working
24
late.
YouTube channel. That is where you'll get the entire conversation. We have news everywhere in the Africa 24 YouTube channel. You subscribe to our YouTube channel. That is the support that we all ask from your end.